What was your first job?
My first real job, like outside of like babysitting when I was younger, was Starbucks. I worked as a barista when I was in college at Cal Poly.
What is something you learned within the past week?
Something I learned? That's actually such a good question. I learned actually today, I was in a PLC meeting with the mythology team, and we had Miss Utility come in. And so I learned that there is an online resource for students if they have questions about anything in the library, or if they want access to library resources, they can fill out a Google form and meet with anyone in the library to chat. So, fun tidbit.
What's your favorite part of the day?
My favorite part of the day, probably first thing, waking up in the morning and making coffee. It's just one of the more quiet times in the day, and coffee's my favorite. So, hand in hand.
What's a party trick that you can do?
I feel like I'm not a very gifted person in that way. I don't know if it counts as a party trick, but I know a lot of kind of like random facts about orca whales, so I don't know if spitting those off would be a cool party trick.
If you could master any new language, what would it be?
Ooh. So I know some Spanish, but I'd really like to master the language and be fluent in it.
What's a chore that you hate doing?
Oh my gosh, I hate laundry. I hate doing laundry.
What snack do you get every time you go grocery shopping?
Carrots and hummus.
If you had to eat the same meal for a week, what would it be?
Caesar salads, because they're light enough and I feel like I wouldn't get tired of it.
What was your fondest memory of high school?
Ooh, I was in an a cappella choir when I was in high school, and so all of our concerts and travels with that were some of my favorite memories.
What do you like most about your current job?
I love talking with students during class, whether it's about what's going on in their lives or the texts we're reading and the ideas they have. Discussion piece is always my favorite.
What's the stupidest thing you've ever done because someone dared you to?
Oh, there's like this hot chip challenge where you can buy like a single hot chip online. It's the hottest chip in the world. And so I was dared to try it, and it was definitely the hottest thing I had ever tried. Like tears, I needed milk, the whole thing.
If you could erase one event from history, what would it be?
Oh, I could erase one event from history. What could it be? I feel like with my first response, I don't know if this is a right response, but I feel like that's such a powerful thing to do. So I would seek out input from other people to determine how I would use that power to get rid of something.
Why did you choose teaching?
It's something I always wanted to do. I grew up with my mom as a teacher, so I always kind of knew what her job was like. And so it's always just been something in the back of my mind. And I knew I always wanted to go into a field that I felt like mattered and gave my life purpose, and teaching has been that.
What are your thoughts on climate change?
I think I'm happy that we are having more conversations about it, because I think that it's an important topic and something that we need to be collaborating and working toward to find solutions to. So I'm very hopeful for the direction we're going in right now.
Would you rather be able to copy paste in real life or undo in real life?
Undo in real life, for sure.
What would be the title of a movie or biography about yourself?
Wow. I feel like it would be something like, what is this? Like a memoir or a biography, because I feel like that's just such an open-ended question that I'm asking myself a lot. Like, what is this? What are we doing? What's going on? So I think that would be fun.
What would you do as president of the US?
What would I do as president of the United States? It's interesting because you just asked about like climate change, but I feel like that would be like definitely one of a top priorities that I'd like to figure out how to make a difference in.
If there was one question you could ask about the future, what would it be?
I would be curious to know what social media would look like in like 20, 30 years, and if it would still be as big of a role in our lives as it is now.
Who is your biggest inspiration?
I'd have to say my grandma, so I call her Nana. She's just such a spunky person, and she's done so much in her life, and she's been through a lot, and she's 93 years old. She still lives by herself and is just like totally thriving with so many stories and life experience. And so I feel like I really go to her when I need guidance. So she's my inspiration.
What is your dream vacation?
Oh my gosh, my dream vacation. I've always wanted to go to New York City during Christmas time. I feel like that's something I've been thinking about a lot because I want to see the big tree in Times Square. So that would be what I'd say today.
What's the first thing you do when you get home from a typical workday?
When I get home from a typical workday, I change into cozy clothes.
Who from your past do you wish you'd stayed in contact with?
Who from my past? I think I wish I had kept in touch with some of my teachers from high school. I had always thought about reaching back out to some teachers and even letting them know that I'm a teacher now and just how they've influenced my life. So that's I wish I had kept in touch in that way. I guess I still could. So maybe that's something I'll do now.
What's the worst date you've ever been on?
The worst date I've ever been on? Interesting. I've been on I think like the first date I ever went on, and we went and we got pizza, and it was just like an awkward conversation first date. So it wasn't like worst and bad, but it was awkward.
What is the last thing you want to do before you die?
It would be important at some point before I died to be around, because I'd love to have kids one day. So if I have kids or family or whatever, to in my old age, spend some time with them on a trip or doing something, like going to some place that was important in my life, and take like my grandchildren or children back to a place that I love.
What would be your ideal breed of dog or cat?
Wow, the French Bulldog is my ideal breed, and I have one. She's right next to me, so she's gonna make a guest appearance. This is little Pinot. I think Frenchies are the cutest.
What do you do when you can't fall asleep?
So recently I got a reading light. So it's like it doesn't have the blue light. It's like a soft light. So I got one of those. So that way, if I'm not able to sleep, I can get some of my fun reading in.
What was the last book you read?
Wow, very on topic. The last book I read was, what did I just finish? I just finished reading Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. I really like her work. And so that's like my fun read that I just finished.
What is your guilty pleasure?
My guilty pleasure, is like bad TV. Like 90 Day Fiance or like The Bachelor, or like those kind of reality shows, for sure.
What is your spirit animal and why?
Wow. My spirit animal, That's such a good question. God, forever, I'm just going to go with the answer I've always given. And it goes back to an earlier question, but I love orcas. I feel like they just embody such like peace and tranquility and majesticness that I just aspire to. Their essence is beautiful.
What are you most looking forward to in the next 10 years?
What I'm most looking forward to in the next 10 years. That's such a good question. I have been, over the past couple years, working on a poetry book. I really do love to write in my spare time. So I'm hoping that within the next 10 years, maybe more realistically less than that, I get to finish it.
What are your thoughts on love?
What are my thoughts on love? Oh my gosh. I think love manifests itself in so many different forms. And I think that love is a fundamental piece to our life and our existence as people, whether that's love in familial relationships, friendships, romantic relationships. I think it's important that we have it in all areas of our lives.
What is your favorite song right now?
Oh, that's such a good question. So one of my favorite artists is Dermot Kennedy, and he just did put out some song called Paradise with, I don't know the other group, I think it's Medusa or something, and it's like blowing up right now, but I really like it.
What is something that you think about when you're alone?
Ooh. I don't know if I have like a reoccurring thing I think about when I'm alone. I do like catch myself a lot kind of making mental like to-do lists of things I have to do, whether it's work stuff I have to do or personal things or like goals. I'm a very like list-oriented person, so when I'm by myself, I catch myself making lists in my head.
What product would you stockpile if you found out that it wasn't going to be sold anymore?
Oh my gosh. I love that question. So there's a self-tanner that I really like, and it's like so good, and so I feel like if I knew it was gonna go out of stock, that would be something where I'd be like for sure stocking up on that so I don't have to find another one for a while.
What was the last non-food item that you purchased?
The last non-food item that I purchased, I ordered a hat on Amazon.
What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear, wasting time, I think would probably be my biggest fear. I'm very like time conscious and aware of how I'm spending my time, where I'm spending it, with who I'm spending it with. So making sure that it's meaningful to me.
Out of all the places you have visited, what was your favorite?
I really loved southern France when I went. So I went to like Nice and Antibes, and just the coastal line of France is beautiful. So that's probably my favorite.
If you could change your name, what would you change it to?
Oh, interesting. When I was little, I wanted to be Brianna. So if I could change it, that would probably do an ode to my younger self.
What would you do with $10 million?
With $10 million, wow. Well, I'd buy a house first off. Like I'd invest and get some equity going. I would definitely want to invest part of it. I would want to donate a portion of it to some causes that I felt were important. And I'd also want to go on a cool vacation. I feel like traveling is like one of the things everyone wants to do when they get $10 million.
What is your least favorite restaurant?
My least favorite restaurant? Ooh. Okay, I'm going to be honest. BJ's restaurant is just kind of like lackluster to me, and I don't really get the hype around it. So probably BJ's.
Do you believe in aliens?
I'm open to the idea of aliens. I don't not believe in them.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
Oh, my biggest pet peeve? That's a good question. It kind of drives me nuts when people's tags stick up out of their shirts or sweatshirts. I feel like I always notice it, and it just kind of drives me nuts.
What is your favorite holiday?
I love Halloween because I love costumes and like dressing up and like scary stuff.
Tell me something cool about literature or drama.
Ooh, something cool about literature. So I think with books, one of the coolest things about them is that they reach you wherever you're at in your life, right? Because as I'm getting older, have books that I have reread either from when I was in high school or even like kind of more like young adult books that I've, reread and revisited now as an adult, and they resonate in such a different way. So I love literature because I feel like it's timeless and it meets you wherever you're at.
What is a dish that you can cook with your eyes closed?
A dish I can cook with my eyes closed? Probably taco salad. I got that down, ready to go. Ground the turkey in the pan, eyes closed, add everything, boom.
What is your proudest moment as a teacher?
My proudest moment as a teacher, and this is one that it's not like one moment, but it's like a moment that when it does happen, it just always feels so good, is when students are super excited about an idea that they want to write about for a paper, and they'll come and they'll like kind of talk to me and like kind of word vomit something out. And then it's always so great when they revisit and they have like an idea that they're excited to write about and they were able to kind of formulate from just their brainstorm. And you can just tell when they're excited about it and it clicks and it makes sense. And they're like, yeah, this is what the direction I think I'm going to go. So when students are excited about ideas they have for writing, it's just always such a proud moment to see that in them.
What is something you did as a child that got you in the most trouble?
Something I did as a child that got me in the most trouble. So I have a younger brother, and so I loved playing with him, but I'll tell you what, sometimes I could be a little bossy lady. So I think my bossiness occasionally was the thing that would get me in the most trouble.
What is the strangest thing a student has ever asked you?
The strangest thing a student has ever asked me. I think the strangest thing is probably when they've asked me, like in the middle of class and we're doing something, if they could go get their Postmates food from outside.
If you had to get a tattoo, what would it be and why?
Well, I have a few tattoos, and I actually just got one a couple days ago, so very topical, but I got a little olive branch on my wrist. And the reason I got it is because my family, we have some Greek heritage. And so olives are huge in Greek culture. And so I always wanted an olive branch just to kind of pay homage to that. And I think they're just like beautiful and dainty, and that's kind of my style. So that's my most recent one.
What is the most valuable lesson you have learned in your life?
The most valuable lesson that I've learned is that it's important to give people the benefit of the doubt, I guess you'd say. Just in general, I think that people go through a lot more than maybe we see on the surface. And so I've always found that in times where I practice empathy for other people and like really like ask questions with the intent to listen and hear someone, it always works out for the best.